And we start with all the latest from the Israel-Hamas war. Well, the United Nations General Assembly has overwhelmingly voted for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. And this comes days after US vetoed the same in the United Nations Security Council. Well, out of 193 nations, 153 backed the calls for a ceasefire, while 10 voted against and 23 abstained from voting. The resolution also demands the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages and that the warring parties comply with international law as well. Well, US President Joe Biden has said that Israel is losing international support over its, and I'm quoting here, indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, and that the Israeli leadership must change. This as Biden announced that US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan will travel to Israel this week for talks with Israel's war cabinet on the war in Gaza. Take a listen.
National Security Advisor Sullivan will travel to the region this week and meet with the Israeli War Cabinet, as I have met with, to emphasize our commitment to Israel, as well as the need to protect civilian life and ensure more humanitarian assistance flows and reaches into Gaza for Palestinian civilians.
On the other hand, Netanyahu says that he will continue with his war against Hamas and that he would not let Israel repeat the Oslo mistake and allow terrorism in Gaza after the war ends. Well, he did not clarify what mistake he was referring to. The 1993 Oslo Accords established limited Palestinian autonomy in the West Bank and Gaza.
אני מאוד מעריך את התמיכה האמריקנית, הן להשמדת החמאס והן להחזרת חטופינו. אחרי שיח אינטנסיבי עם הנשיא ביידן ואנשיו, קיבלנו גיבוי מלא, גם לכניסה הקרקעית וגם בבלימת הלחצים הבינלאומיים להפסקת המלחמה. כן, יש מחלוקות לגבי היום שאחרי חמאס, ואני מקווה שנגיע להסכמה גם כאן. אני רוצה להבהיר את עמדתי. אני לא אתן לישראל לחזור על טעות אוסלו. לא אתן שאחרי ההקרבה האדירה של אזרחינו ולוחמינו, נכניס לעזה מי שמחנך לטרור, תומך בטרור, מממן טרור. עזה לא תהיה לא חמאסטן ולא פתחסטן.
And strong statements have been coming from Iran as well. Iranian foreign minister has warned that if the war does not stop, the possibility of expansion of the scope of the war will increase. He has warned that the United States will also bear the consequences. Take a listen.
War is not a solution. Israel and the United States will never be able to eliminate Hamas. Israel cannot free its prisoners through war.
Meanwhile, a recently released video footage shows a member of the Polish parliament putting out the Hanukkah menorah candles to protest against Israel's offensive in Gaza. Meanwhile, Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad says that the Israeli attempts to free captives in Gaza would not succeed, adding that they would only come back through indirect negotiations and exchange under a full ceasefire. On the other hand, Israel has confirmed the death of 2 more soldiers. Israeli troops say that they recovered the bodies inside an underground infrastructure in a densely populated area in Gaza hidden by Hamas.
IDF special forces recovered the bodies of 2 Israeli hostages during a complex hostage rescue operation in Gaza. 27-year-old Eden Zecharia, who was taken hostage by Hamas from the Nova Music Festival, and 36-year-old Command Sergeant Major Ziv Dado, who was taken hostage while on active duty. Sadly, we did not reach them in time.
Meanwhile, calls are growing to bring all the hostages back in Israel. Demonstrators are demanding Netanyahu to continue the negotiations for the release.
There isn't any time. Our people, our families are there, alone, in the cold. We want them back home. There isn't any time. They're dying there. There isn't any time. Bring them home now.
Meanwhile, Israel is continuing with its southern Gaza offensive. The Israeli strikes have hit Rafah border in the past 24 hours, reportedly killing and injuring several people there, including women and children. The footage on your screens right now, it shows people frantically searching through the rubble looking for survivors. While these devastating scenes are from Khan Yunis, several had to be rushed to hospitals in the aftermath of the Israeli strikes. Well, areas in central Gaza have also come under heavy bombing. A refugee camp in the area was hit by Israeli strikes, and many had to be rushed to the hospitals there as well.